morning. Good morning, everybody. How are we doing? Good. Welcome to the 2016 Highland Community College Athletic Hall of Fame induction ceremony. My name is Tyler Nordman, and I am the new Director of Athletics at Highland Community College. It is my privilege to be up here speaking with you today. Just a little bit about myself. I'm in my 5th year at Highland Community College. First year as Director of Athletics, I started on July 1st. The previous 4 I spent in the Housing and Student Activity Department as the Director. I played basketball at Highland in 2007 to 2009. From here, I transferred on to Newman University, a Division II school in Wichita, Kansas, where I continued playing ball and earned my bachelor degree in communication. I also met my lovely fiance down in Newman, Stephanie Harshberger. She's there in the back. I grew up in Augusta, Kansas, and I attended Augusta High School. As I said earlier, I'm honored, and it is a privilege to be up here in front of you speaking today on this great day. What a great day it is. Today, in just a little while, we'll induct 3 amazing qualified candidates into our Highland Community College Athletic Hall of Fame. We'll welcome them into an elite group of individuals that over the years have played a vital part in the growth, development, and overall success of Highland Community College athletics. We will also be given a special team recognition after following the induction of the candidates. Before we get started, I'd like to recognize some special people we have in the room with us today. Board of Trustees member Russell Karn, Board of Trustee member Vernie Coy, and Board member Tom Smith. Former Board of Trustees member Don Harder. Saw Don in the back. Hall of Fame members Russell Karn, Thelma Schmitz Strothman, and Clarence Fuzz Lewis, my new neighbor. And he is a good one. Also here we have President Dave Rice, Vice President Dr. Cheryl Rasmussen, Executive Director of the HCC Foundation Keith Haloma, Head Track Coach Tom Bond, and Head Softball Coach Heidi Jordan. Thank you all for being here, part of this special day. Beginning in 1997, the Highland Community College Athletic Hall of Fame was established for the purpose of recognizing and honoring former student athletes, coaches, faculty, staff, athletic teams, and special contributors whose accomplishments have brought prestige, honor, and support to Highland Community College athletics. Each year, Highland Community College accepts nominations for the Athletic Hall of Fame. To nominate a prospective candidate for induction, you may submit your nomination by going online to scottyathletics.com. Those eligible for induction include former standout athletes who were freshmen no later than 2006, coaches, faculty, or administrators who have served the college for at least 5 years, honorary individuals who have served the interest of Highland Community College over the years. Nominations are an ongoing process, and once received, they stay in the nomination selection category each year, and all candidates continue to be reviewed yearly by the Hall of Fame committee. Please keep in mind that to be processed as a candidate for the next year, submissions need to be entered no later than July 1st. We'll now begin the induction process of our 2016 Hall of Fame class. If you would like to take pictures of the inductee during their plaque presentation, you're welcome to do so, and you may come forward at this time. I would now like to invite Mr. Greg Delzite to the podium to nominate our first candidate.
Today, I have the honor to present and nominate to you one of the 3 inductees into the Athletic Hall of Fame, and that is Roger Gormley. Roger is a lifetime resident of Donovan County. Roger graduated from Midway High School in 1964. After high school, Roger attended Highland Community College in the years of 1964 to 65 and 65 to 66. While at Highland, he participated in 2 different sports. Basketball, he was a member of 2 teams that were probably 2 of the most successful teams in Highland's history. The season of 64-65, they were 21-1, and 65 and 66, they were 24-3. Roger was also an outstanding track athlete. His sophomore year, he was nominated to be the captain of the track team. And also, one of the highlights of Roger's sophomore year in track was that he was awarded the High Point Trophy at the Highland Relays, where he won the event, the 200, the 400, the hurdles, and placed third in the high jump. So he was a quite accomplished track athlete also at Highland Community College. After 2 years at Highland Community College, Roger transferred to Kansas State Teacher College at Emporia, which is now Emporia State University, and he received his bachelor's degree in business management. After graduating from Emporia, he moved back to the area, worked in St. Joseph, Missouri at Quaker Oats for 32 years, and he was involved in the accounting and inventory management of the plant there. Roger took early retirement after 32 years because of the plant closing. And then after not completely retiring, he came back and he was employed by Highland Community College for 3 years as a career counselor. So Roger was very, very active. But now, once he hit his retirement age, I guess, he became more active because of the fact that he volunteers for a lot of different groups, organizations, and things like that. Just a list of the different activities that he does help with and continues to work with and things like that here in the county, also for the college. He did serve for the Board of Education at the high school for 12 years. He is on the Northeast Kansas Library Board. He's on the Pastoral Council at St. Benedict's Church. He's the treasurer for the Highland Community College Athletic Booster Club. He's a member of the Highland Community College Alumni Association. And I know my 12 years as the athletic director here at Highland Community College, he was one of the people that I would call upon from time to time, and he was always worthy and would volunteer his time and service, whether it was at a volleyball tournament, whether it was helping with a track meet, or with the Northeast Kansas All-Star activities, games, volleyball, and basketball. But he was always a person that was willing to help and always did a great job. He is a great supporter of Highland Community College and a good friend. And again, at this time, I would like to introduce Mr. Roger Gormley as an inductee into our Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Greg. Appreciate it. Well, it's a privilege to be honored today. It's a very big honor for me. I appreciate it very much. I would like to thank my family and friends for coming. And as you can see, I have a big group of my family here. And I have a wonderful family, and they support me a lot. I have been a lifetime supporter of Highland Community and Highland Community College, and it's just been a great place. Highland Community College has been a big part of my life. That's whether I was going to school here, and playing sports here. All my kids went to school here, and my wife taught here. Or just watching the great sports that Highland Community College has. If you stick around today, you'll see what the quality of our football team. They have an excellent team today. HEC is a big part of this community, and we need to support it. I've tried to volunteer when I can. Actually, I'm on the alumni board now, and that's really a good place to be involved. HCC was a good place to start my college career. Classes, sports, they help you build character, and was a very good place to go, stepping board to go on as I went to Emporia and then ended up with a good job. I think probably the best thing that ever did for me and HCC was to marry Esther. She taught here 25 years, so she probably did a lot more than I have for HCC. Again, it's an honor to be here today, and I appreciate you all coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. I would now like to invite Mr. Francis Flax to the podium to nominate our second candidate.
You notice I didn't bring any papers up here. What I always tell people, I speak all over the United States at different things. I'm not a speaker, I'm just a talker. I'm really flattered when I got the call from Darla about a month ago asking if I would introduce her today for her induction into the HCC Hall of Fame. I still haven't figured out how come she asked me. 1979 in August, I showed up here at Highland. Dr. Jack Nutt was the president, and truthfully, it was my first collegiate job. The football coach at that time was Chuck Carrender, and he was also the athletic director. And after the football season, he resigned to take a job at Drake University. My telephone rang one morning in my office at the gym, and Dr. Jack Nutt called me into his office, and he said, "You've only been here about 5 months, but I'm going to appoint you interim athletic director, and then I'm going to watch what you do from then through June 30th. And if you do what I want you to do, you will be the athletic director." So, it was about the holidays, and I took off and went back to western Kansas with my family for a few days and came back, and Dr. Nutt said, "Well, here's what I'm going to do." Because I told him, I said, I'm a little bit inexperienced when it comes to this athletic director duties. He said, "Well, I've got a surprise for you." He said, "I'm going to make Darla Tracy your secretary." That's the best news that I've ever received when I was at this school. Darla was, man, what a worker. And the one thing I remember in our office over there, we had plants. I'm a plant guy, and so is she. If she got bored or needed a break, I would catch her sometimes with a Kleenex with some kind of ointment on it, polishing the leaves on the plants we had in our office. We got through the eligibility process. At that time, the athletic director and the secretary did all the eligibility. And I'm telling you, football is no fun doing eligibility. Basketball, with all the transfers you get, isn't much better. But she and I got through that. What I want to mention about Darla is her dedication. You talk about a loyal person. She's the epitome of loyalty. She and I stayed in contact after I left here in 1988. We've stayed in contact, and of course I've been the athletic director at another school in the region for 20-something years now. And we still converse, or we did converse, about problems that I was having with an eligibility question, or maybe she needed some clarification. I know one thing, you have to be durable. According to my good friend Russ Karn out here, she has been the secretary to over 90 coaches at this school. I know that with Jerry Cole being the current basketball coach, I think that he is the 9th or 10th, I haven't figured it out, 9th or 10th basketball coach that she has been affiliated with. I know I was the first, and anyway, athletic director-wise, I was also the first, and Greg here was the last that she was involved with. I had some players, she's got such a tremendous heart. I just don't know, we had players from everywhere, which most junior colleges do. 2 players that she was just their mother, and I think today she's still their mother. Melvin Hoskin, a kid by the name of Foots out of St. Louis, Missouri. Tremendous kid, needed some guidance, some protection if you want. Darla provided that, and they remain friends today. And that was in the early 80s. Craig Burns, who's from Elwood, was another one that she kind of took over when he came here for the 2 years he played for me here. And I know that actually we thought maybe he was going to show up today, but I don't see him in the crowd. So with all that being said, Darla, I don't know how I can thank you so much for putting me on the right path in athletics. I've done about everything in the athletic world in basketball that you can do, and a lot of it was because of you. And I really appreciate it. And at this time, I would like to introduce Darla Tracy. Thank you.
Good morning. First of all, First of all, I would like to sincerely thank everyone on the committee for thinking of me for this wonderful recognition. It is one of the most meaningful and personal honors that I could ever receive, and I'm proud and flattered to be standing in front of you here today. When I was informed I had been selected to be inducted into the Athletic Hall of Fame, I was, needless to say, speechless and very overwhelmed. I see a lot of familiar faces in the crowd today, family, friends, former bosses, and coaches. Thank you all for coming. It means a lot to have you here. When I think back to the time that I've spent here at Highland, it is with fond memories and a good feeling. I've had an opportunity to meet and work with a great deal of wonderful people through the years, both colleagues and students. Several people have commented to me over the years that I would be hanging on the Hall of Fame wall in the Allen Fieldhouse someday. And I always thought, well, maybe someday. But never did I imagine it would happen this soon. I only retired on June 30 of this year. When I had to come up with someone to introduce me today, I knew I wanted the first athletic director I'd worked for, Francis Flax. When I called him, he graciously accepted. Thank you so much, Francis, for all your kind words today and for taking time from your busy schedule to be here. When I first started working in Highland, I was hired as Doug Fitch, secretary. He was the dean of students here at the time. I worked for him, and then I worked for Forrest Hoff, who was the dean of financial aid, before I became the president's secretary, and I worked for a Tony Woodrum and a Dr. Jack Nutt. In 1980, Dr. Nutt decided it was time to hire an athletic secretary due to the amount of time needed to complete the correspondence, schedules, and reports for all the athletic teams. So I was the one he selected to be the first athletic secretary. I worked for 3 athletic directors in the 36 years I've served as secretary, and I don't know how it came to be that I was lucky enough to have been the last for 3 special bosses. Francis Flax, who is now the athletic director at Brown-Mackie College in Salina. Tom Smith, who is a retired educator and coach and also on the board of trustees here. And Greg Delzite, who's also an educator and coach who retired in June when I did. So I thank you, gentlemen. Because of you, I am being presented this honor today. You were the ones who planned, prepared, implemented, and executed all the things which needed to be done, and I was only there to assist you. I very much appreciated all of your thank yous, your support, encouragement, friendship, and for all you have given me and done for me over the years. The past 48 years at Highland, I've experienced a lifetime of events, created wonderful memories to reflect back on, and obtained a bounty of long-lasting friendships to forever cherish. So in closing, thank you so much for choosing to include me in the HCC Athletic Hall of Fame. I am grateful you felt my contributions over the years as athletic secretary were noteworthy enough to be selected. I consider it a great honor, and I'm very proud to be a part of something so special. Thank you.
I would now like to welcome back to the podium Mr. Greg Delzite.
Make a couple quick comments. It's kind of hard where to start when you've been working with someone for 18 years. I think fall of '88, Francis left. The best, like you said, Francis, best thing that happened was Darla was your secretary, and the best thing you did is you left Darla as my secretary. I assure you, teaching a physical science class with a minimum of 50 and most of the time as many as 75 students in it with 3 lab classes to go with it, and in the realm of all the intercollegiate programs, budgets, eligibility, health forms. If it wasn't for Darla, did you check on this today? Did you check on so-and-so yesterday? It would have been very tough. So she kept the place in full steam ahead. And Darla, I'm going to need a hug here in a minute to thank you in front of everybody for your help. But hang on, Greg needs to get up there next. Greg, come here.
I just want to thank you, Darla, for the 35 years that I was at Highland Community College as a coach, and also the 12 years as an athletic director. And appreciation, and it's a small token, but we have an award here for Darla that is a little different. When Darla and I were kind of cleaning our offices out at the end of the year, packing things up, Darla's chair was sitting there. And a lot of times when somebody moves out, somebody moves in, they get new furniture, new chairs, things like this. And Darla made the comment, said, well, I've had the same chair for 48 years. So I gave Darla the chair, Mr. Rice. So if anybody's looking for it in inventory, it's gone, and I have it, and now it's going to go to Darla. But for her service and dedication to Highland Community College, for the 48 years that she's been here, she was a great asset to me. I appreciate all of her help, and this is an award for you. So,
Darla, you need to come up here, and Francis, come up here too. We all three need to have a picture with Darla.
Thank you, guys. I would now like to invite Mr. Tim Swayler to the podium to nominate our third candidate.
I have the privilege and the honor to introduce, and I'm going to apologize today for all the husbands. I'm going to use maiden names, so I apologize. So I get the opportunity to talk about Marta McClung today. When you think about Marta McClung, you think about one word comes to my mind. That's determination. She's determined in everything she does. And I'd like to kind of quickly go over her bio with you and kind of reinforce that determination is what she's all about. She's a Whitmore High School graduate in 1992. Maybe I'm not supposed to mention numbers anymore because of age things. But 1992, she competed in high school in 4 sports: cross-country volleyball, basketball, and track, which came in handy for her as she went on with her career here at HCC. While she was here, she competed in cross-country, indoor track, outdoor track, and the marathon, and that's what we're here today to honor her with her accomplishments in the marathon. While she was here, her team accomplishment was her sophomore year, the team placed 3rd at the national cross-country meet in 1993. During that time, she just missed making All-Americans. I think she was 17th. Is that right? You can't remember. Okay, yeah, you were 17th. Which the top 15 were All-American at that time. So she just missed out. That spring, she went on to be the national champion in the NJCA marathon. It's kind of an amazing story if you think about it, because as a Wetmore high school athlete, I think the farthest she ever ran was 3 to 4 miles. We've had this discussion. We can't remember again. Okay. But I thought you once told me I only ran 3 miles in high school. That's the farthest I ever ran. And to think of it, her freshman year, somehow she got talked into running the marathon. It wasn't me who talked her into it. I don't know, one of the guys on the teams or something like that did it. And so she went from, in May, farthest she ever ran 3 to 4 miles, to a year later, as a freshman, she finished 4th in the marathon, which is quite a bit of accomplishment, which is a 26-mile race. She went on into her sophomore year, and when we get into sophomore year, she was all gung-ho about doing this again. So we kind of planned some things out with the training and everything, and we got there, and when we got to the meet, and the night before, I think I wrote you a note, if I remember right. You remember that? And at that time, I don't think I put that in a note, but I just knew she was going to win. For some reason, I just knew she was going to win. And she came out the next day and won the national championship in the marathon. After, and to go on with that, she was also academically recognized by the NJCA, a Distinguished Academic Award in 93 and 94 for cross-country, both indoor and outdoor track, and the marathon team. So her academics show you also how determined a person she was. When she left here at Highland, someplace called Truman State University, what I'm kind of familiar with, she received a full academic scholarship to the school for the next 2 years. She got her degree in, I think that would have been elementary ed back then, right? And then went on and got her master's there in what we call the MAE program there at Truman in special ed. During that time, she was recognized as the top special ed student at Truman State University. And that's quite an accomplishment. I've been there now for 10 years, after 20 years here at Highland. And it's quite an accomplishment when you get designated the top student in your department. She graduated from Truman with summa cum laude. I can't hardly say that because I missed out on that. By 1/10, I won't tell that story here. Summa cum laude, and she went on to teach in Independence, Missouri at Glendale Elementary. Also at Glendale Elementary, she's been there for 20 years. If you've been in education at all, like I have, anyone who does 20 years in special education and still has a brain is an outstanding person. Why? Because she's determined. She has determination. She also received the Teacher of the Year award in her building while she's been there. I can't say enough about Marta, the effect she's had on other people, the effect that she had on HCC, I think, just being here the 2 years she was here. She's an outstanding person, and when you're around her, you become a better person. And it's my honor and privilege now to introduce Marta McClung, National NJCA Marathon Champion.
First of all, I'm very grateful and wanted to say thank you to everyone who had a part in my nomination and being chosen for this great honor. And as I was trying to think of what I wanted to say today, I kept coming back to the fact that I feel very blessed to have been a part of Highland Community College, and most of all blessed to have been able to know and be around such great people here in my life. Family, teammates, and coaches. First, I was blessed to have a family that's always been very supportive. I'm also very fond of the memories I have of my teammates at Highland. They were truly great friends who supported each other, but on and off the course and track. I was also very fortunate to have Coach Thelma Smits. I'm also using a maiden name because that's how I remember you. As a coach and math teacher at Wetmore Attendance Center, where I started to participate in sports. I very much admired her, and one of the reasons I worked so hard was because I wanted her to be pleased. I learned many things from her about sports and life. Finally, I could not have asked for a better coach than Coach Tim Schwegler. I would never have been able to achieve what I did at Highland without his expert guidance and beyond. And I know all of us that are here on the 1993 cross-country team and 1994 marathon team would agree about that. He expected us to do our best, and I remember how he expected us to do our best, but he also knew how to encourage us when we fell short of our best. I remember how he always made sure we were prepared for each event, whether it was double layers of sweats for nationals in Arizona, or running really long runs to prepare for the marathon, or even drinking the sports drink to recover from some of our long runs that none of us can remember the name of it. But I wasn't really appreciative of that at the time until I had to go to Truman and drink it warm instead of cold. I also remember as I was getting ready to run one of my marathons, one of the girls had come up to me and started talking to me, and she said, "I really think I'm prepared for this. I've been running lots of 7-mile runs." And I was thinking, I'm not going to tell her Coach Schwegler's been making us run as much as 17-mile runs to get ready. I always trusted what he had us do because I knew he knew what he was doing. Even if I had to run in last place for the first 10 miles of the marathon with no one else in sight and all the volunteers along the course feeling really sorry for me, I was confident he knew what the best way to do it. And later I could pass many of the athletes who started out way too fast. And when you're fortunate enough to have a coach or a teacher, a great coach or a great teacher, often some of the things they've taught you stick with you, even when they aren't around. I vividly remember a particular math class and what Coach Schmidt said that day, and I often share those same thoughts with my students pretty much every year. I also often remember things that Coach Schwegler taught me. One such time was when I was at Truman getting ready to run the 3,000-meter run at the conference meet. And one of the other athletes had gotten hurt, so my coach was tied up trying to make sure she was going to be okay, and I didn't have a coach coaching me at the beginning of the race. So I just thought back, what would Coach Schwegler have me do in this race? And I did exactly what I thought he would have me do, and I remember that as being the best race I ever had at Truman. More importantly than all the athletic coaching I received, I was most blessed that I was not taught that the race was the most important thing about life. If I'd been taught that the running time was the most important, I might not have been prepared to face challenges later on. Things I learned from family, teammates, Coach Schmitz and Coach Schwegler have often helped me in challenging situations. For example, when I began my first teaching job in Independent School District, they had made the decision to bring back all the special needs kids from different district programs into their home school so they could be more included. And so most of those kids ended up most of the day in my classroom, which was a self-contained classroom of K through 6th graders. I think had about 30 students, all varying types of disabilities. So I'd have 3 or 4 lesson plans going on at once with different adult assistants helping me. So I had very little curriculum. And so it was a very daunting task to meet all the individual needs of all these different students without supplies and curriculum. So there was barely time to eat or sleep. So even though I'd wanted to continue running and run faster times after college, I kind of had to give it up for a while. But recently I ran into a student from those first years who was one of the kids from the self-contained classroom that I had. He was a student who once asked me why his pencil wasn't growing, why it kept getting shorter, and told me that dogs are a farm animal because we eat hot dogs. And he couldn't be convinced otherwise about any of that stuff. He was a 2nd grader at the time, and I ran into him as an adult, and he's working, has a good job, and he's married and has purchased his own home. And I thought about that, and I thought, I know that this student had many people supporting him to make such a great difference in his life. He's come a very long ways. And in those moments, I know that, it's worth it to try to make a difference. And we've seen here today that Coach Schwegler, Coach Schmitz, my teammates, and we've seen Gormley and Darla Tracy have made such a great difference in everyone's life. And I think that's the most important thing. That's what I hope that I can do, what they've been able to do in my life and for others. And each one of us can do that, and I just want to encourage everybody to think about what a difference they can make in everyone's lives. Thanks.
Coach Schwegler, I'd ask you please come back to the podium to recognize our special team today.
Okay, it's time for me to really relax when we talk about these two teams. We're going to talk about the 1993 NJCA third place cross-country team, in the Nationals, and also the 1994 marathon team that placed second. In 1993, I listened to the radio actually about 6-8 months ago, and a song came on the radio called Hey Cinderella. It was by Susie Boggess. I don't know if anybody remembers that. Some of you in here, it's before you were born. I understand that. But it just reminded me of this team. So what I like to do is tell you of another Cinderella story. Cinderella story is about 6 girls from Kansas and 1 from Missouri. And at this point, we have 4 of those girls here today. One of the girls, the girl from Missouri, was named Amy Bales. Amy, when she walked into the room, you're going to notice her. She just had this personality about her, and you could not, being around her, you had to laugh. Tragically, Amy passed away in 2010. And the team today, when they come up here, you'll notice they'll have a little ribbon on with an A on there in the memory of Amy. So we miss her. We wish she was here, but we want to remember all the good times with her today. So So it was 6 girls from Kansas and 1 from Missouri. And I lived actually at that time just right down the street here. And something happened in our lives. We had, one of our sons was born. I had a newborn a week before cross-country practice started, and I also had a 2-year-old. Okay, so I was more worried about, instead of worried about the season, I was more worried about getting sleep every night and everything. So that was my big concern at the time. So I didn't really know what to expect. But here's what happened as the school year started to unfold. These girls started to bond together like no other team I've ever had. They bonded together. And how they bonded is through Marta and Angie's little team dinners that they had. They started to bond together, driving miles and miles in these blue vans with HCC on the side. And they would talk, and they started bonding together. And as they started the concept of synergy, the concept of 2 people doing a job together can do a lot more than 2 individuals trying to do it by themselves. And they also found out if you take 7 of those people, put them together, the cord of 7 is very strong. And a cord of 7 can almost do anything during that time. And what happened is, understanding this idea of synergy, great things started to happen. One of the things that started to happen, they started to buy into the program, which was, as a coach, you were really appreciative of. They started to buy into workouts. It took a little time, though, for them to buy into workouts. There were 2 people on the team, Amy, who I just mentioned before. She always had these looks that she'd give you, and Shelley was the other one. Shelley would give you a lot of looks. She had a look for everything on the team. A look of disgust, a look of happiness. We could just go on and on, but we won't. They also started buying something called, that I used to do quite a bit, is called mental training or mental practice. It involved a shoe. I won't go into the details of that. My office up at that time was around with football coaches, and one time they'd walk in, we were doing this, and they thought we were nuts. Marty Allen just razzed me all the time about that. And also, reluctantly they bought into this idea of heat training, because our national meet was in Phoenix, Arizona, which had some consequences, as I'll talk about here in a second. As the season went on, they got better and better and better and better. And I knew we were a decent team. We went to, back at that time, we weren't in the Jayhawk Conference. We would get together with the independent JUCOs at that time and have an independent championship. And we went there and we got second. We got beat by Colby, but we took care of Haskell. We took care of Cloud County, so we knew we were in good shape. Then we went to the Region 6 meet. We got second again to Colby. Colby was a little cocky at that time. They were thinking they were going to win the national championship, okay? And they were pretty good and stuff. But we had the opportunity to go to nationals. The national trip was unique because we were going to fly to Phoenix out of Kansas City. And you think, well, flying's no big deal. But out of those 7 girls, only one of them had ever flown before. And that was Marta McClung, the year before when she went to nationals. So I'm having 7 girls, one's only flown once. I think Faye, who's not here today, she lives in Arizona because she liked the trip so much, she stayed there. And she lives there today. I had 7 girls that did not know anything about flying a commercial jet. Okay? So we had a few situations on the plane. We got on the plane and we had some people start freaking out. Okay? And all right, I said, and my response to them, it was, and it wasn't nice, shut up and chew your gum. Okay? So we did that. We got everybody on the plane. It was Southwest Airlines, so we couldn't sit together. It's, Southwest Airlines, you got to grab a seat when you can. And we take off. So when we take it off, we're flying. I thought it was a pretty good flight. We hit some turbulence. And 2 of the girls, I won't mention their names, but oh my God, Coach, what was that? I said, it's turbulence. It's when heat rises and causes the plane to bounce up and down and stuff like that. Okay, so I just remember this so much because Shelley, I promise not to mention this, but Shelley had this doll thing. It was a Barney. She had a miniature Barney, and she was like ripping the head off of it because she was so scared. Okay, so and Amy was just being Amy at the time. So we finally landed. We got there. We got to the airport. The hotel sent a shuttle out to get us. They sent a van and they sent a limo. Okay, So I go, girls, get in the limo. Okay, so they all get in the limo, and I start to take a step in, and there's no room for me. So I get in the van, okay, and they're riding around. At that time, they started to embrace the experience, which was great. It's been said before that great moments are made from great opportunities, and they took advantage of the opportunity. We went out and ran the race that next on Saturday morning, and they ran great. I mean, they ran great. I couldn't believe how well they ran. They all ran up to me and said, how did we do? I said, you guys ran great. I don't know how you did. They go, you don't know how we did? No, I don't know how we did. We ran great. Because I just was so happy about that. Then they handed in the results, and I saw that we were in third place. It was a great experience, and the girls took advantage of it. And we should have never been third. Colby should have beat us. Colby, unfortunately, had two girls that had heat problems. And we heat trained them, they didn't. And they fell back in the standings. But that was a great accomplishment from these girls, what they did and how they went out and just took advantage of the moment and stuff. Oh, yes, and by the way, they were also NJCA Academic Team of the Year that year, this cross-country team. So they just didn't do it on the course, they also did it in the classroom. When I think about the marathon team, Marta had run the marathon before, and somehow Jamie and Amy said, yeah, we'll do it. And they looked at, and Amy was doing it because I think Jamie was doing it. That's the only reason at that time. And as we talked about before, Marta went on to win the marathon, which helped us team-wise a lot. And the other two did a really good job with that. And we ended up getting second place, which was a fun time to be with them. And they did a really great job. A 26-mile race is something you don't laugh at. I had the opportunity to run quite a bit when I was younger. A 10K is one thing, a 5K is another thing, but a marathon is not a race. A marathon is a creature, and if you treat it wrong, it bites you and chews you up and spits you out. These girls were very talented runners, and I want to just kind of go through how talented they were. Shelley and Amy had the opportunity to run in two national cross-country meets. This group I talked about was two sophomores and 5 freshmen. Marta was kind of the leader of the group, and Angie, they were kind of like the mothers, I think, and then the freshmen came along, and then we had the freshmen. So Shelley and Amy got to run in two national cross-country meets. How many people can say that? Cindy, she got to run 2 national cross-country meets, but she also qualified for the 600 meters, or was it yards? I can't remember. That's a long time ago. I don't remember. Was it? Yeah, you don't know. You just ran it. She qualified for the indoor meet, the junior college indoor meet. She also ran and finished the marathon her second year there. Those 5 freshmen, 4 of them went on the next year. We placed 7th in the country at the national championships in cross country in New York. Jamie, I made a mistake one time before that season saying if Jamie's sophomore year, the year after the team were recognized, and if Jamie Gray is my number 1 runner, we're in big trouble. I will never say that again. I will never say that about anybody again. Because Jamie went on, she had a very good freshman year, but she exploded her sophomore year. Jamie was All-American in cross country. She placed 7th in cross country. Indoor, she was 4th in the 5,000. I'm pretty sure you were 4th. She was 6th in the 10,000 outdoor, and she was 2nd in the marathon her sophomore year. And of course, Marta, who kind of ran the show, was the national champion in the marathon. These were very talented girls. And sometimes, at the time, I think we were so caught up in it, and maybe I was so caught up in it. Ladies, I'm sorry, I apologize. Didn't realize how good we were until now when I look back. If I like to take a moment just to talk to the girls. Personally, I want to thank you girls for the opportunity of coach you. And it's my privilege to watch you as you have become the women you have become, and watch you take your place in this world. One thing with this group, and ladies, your gratitude and your appreciation over the years you have shown me has meant a lot to me. I wish my teams, now that I have, showed any kind of gratitude sometimes. You are the team, you guys are the team team picture that you'll see later on today, here in just a couple minutes. You are the team